What is up, guys? Welcome to another solo movie review with your host Ben, as you may know. So today I'm looking at a self-funded indie film, if you like, called Future Soldier, done by someone local to the area that I live in Lincolnshire, and it's a film called Future Soldier. So if you like Blade Runner, I highly recommend watching this, as it's pretty much, as it's described, a love letter to Blade Runner. And then some films like Time Cop and Aeon Flux I kind of thought about a lot when watching this movie. Now, there isn't any time travel within it in the regards to Time Cop, but it's got that sort of like 80s-ish sort of feel. And Aeon Flux, I could replace loads of things with this film, and it could have almost been called Aeon Flux. Not to any detriment or a bad way at all, but it gave me the same type of vibe. So, what is Future Soldier about? So, the synopsis. In the dystopian, cyberpunk future, bounty hunter Mo Harrington returns to action after uncovering a sinister conspiracy. Joining forces with an old friend, hardened ex-cop Zoe Cass, Harrington must race against time to stop dangerous new enemies from threatening the future of Super City Europe. With the conspiracy unravelling, Harrington and Cass find themselves on a collision course with both the Matriarch, a ruthless crime lord, and the Phalanx Corporation, the militarized security force that police the streets. Caught in a dangerous web and haunted by ghosts from his previous life, Mo must confront his past as a genetically enhanced hoplite super soldier, as well as his own moral code. From the depths of Super City's Europe underworld to the forgotten military installations of the Arctic City, if I can read. Harrington and Cass are pitted against shadowy forces, clone troopers and masked assassins as they fight to stop the mysterious Project Centurion once and for all. So, the logline for this movie, I'm just reading from the press kit, if you like, so just to inform some people. So in the future, in 2002 AD, bounty hunter Captain Mo Harrington finds himself pulled into a sinister conspiracy. So already on just explaining sort of the synopsis and things, for those that haven't watched the film, hopefully that's enough to help you dive into the film. Now, it is available on Amazon Prime to buy or rent, so please go support him. Just to imagine it was your friend at the end of the day, so to speak. Although Ed isn't my friend, but imagine it was someone that you know and you wanted to support them with something they're trying to turn from a passion into something more. From reading a Lincolnite article, Ed spent the best part of 4 years making this movie on a budget of about £5,000, which literally all I can say is props to him. Like, it was really, really good for a £5,000 independent film. From what I can tell, he's done shorts before, but this is his first feature-length film, and I had a fair amount of fun with it. It was really cool. It was, I could see just how much of a love letter to Blade Runner it was. I loved the sort of neon blue and pink aesthetic with the text titles that kept coming up. The fight scenes were really cool. Now I can see in the press kit that things like The Raid were quite influential to him, and I can see that the fight scenes were really good. I was surprised with how good they are. I could have done with maybe a few more gun stuff, but I liked the close combat, and with it being low budget, I can't ask for much more now knowing that. So to clarify, I went into the film with no expectation. Not to say, like, in terms of when I say no expectation, I don't mean that it was going to be bad or anything like that. I just had no idea what to expect. I didn't know particularly what the film was about, other than it was a love letter to Blade Runner. I don't know Ed. I don't know any of his previous works, so I went in completely blind. So this is pretty much a first impressions, if you like. So I really liked all the characters in it. Some of them were apparently local to the Lincolnshire area, which was really cool. The General Major, I think, was probably my favourite character. So we'll just dive back into the talking process. So overall, I'd give this film about a 7 out of 10. I was highly impressed with it, especially with it being low budget. It was only 1 hour and 23 for the runtime, so it's very digestible. It's easy to watch. It's not too complicated to understand or anything like that. You can kind of get the gist of everything. There was no cliffhanger or anything like that, so completely wholesome to enjoy in a small packet. The music was very cool, very 80s aesthetic. I like that. I like the kind of like music that was used. I'm going to make a fool of myself and just sort of describe the boo 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 sort of sounds that were used. That was really cool. The action scenes, the Foley sort of sounds used was really cool. It's believable. Even the gun sounds seemed fine, and the explosion that was, nothing sounded incorrect, so to speak. I'm terrible at explaining, but nothing sounded incorrect, which is a positive. The cinematography was really nice. I enjoyed that. I'm not expecting, big budget Hollywood cinematography when I come to watch this, now knowing about the budget and it being an independent film anyway. So I'm not looking for that. I was happy with everything filmed. Sometimes there was, a bit too much shaking, but I think it was just the vibe. It didn't sort of make me go, oh great, it's shaking the camera. I don't like that. It was just, that's just my personal preference. There was one scene where Mo was, I think it was in the bit, I can't even think about what it's called. All I can picture is Mo had sort of like this gate with a light with the oh my god. I can't even think of how to describe it. I'll try put a picture up to describe it. It had basically the light, the gate was reflecting on Mo's face, and it just looked really cool to me. I was like, damn, that's some nice cinematography. The story, as I've said, not too complicated, easy digestible, and I liked all the characters that were used. I think it adds some kind of heights when you use sort of local people, if that makes sense. So we'll talk about the actors and actresses. Sean playing Mo, thought he was really cool. His action scenes are really cool. I think one of the other people that really surprised me was Sarah Whitehouse as the matriarch. She could definitely be cool in other villain roles. I had a lot of time for her. And then I'm just trying to find what his name was. I think it was Luke Dagger, the general. His voice was so crisp and nice to listen to that I could quite honestly listen to him in an audiobook or just in an animated role. Like, he was really nice to listen to. And it's just kind of nice to see that, Ed himself, as a complete tangent, went to the same uni as me. Gives me somewhat high hopes. And for something that's what I can only assume is a passion project for him, I had a lot of time for it, and hopefully I'll get to explore more and talk a bit better because, as you can tell, nothing here is scripted. It's just me talking about my thoughts of the film, really. I am terrible at explaining, so Ed, if you do watch this, I'm sorry for my vomit of words, but I had a lot of fun with it, and I think you should be really proud. But there should hopefully be an interview with Ed himself video coming at some point after this video airs, so if you've enjoyed this and have happened to watch the movie by then, please go watch it. I will even put a link to the Amazon link in the description, so go check it out and you make the decision. But I think you would like it if you like things like Time Cop and Blade Runner and Aeon Flux. It's definitely a good watch. Because I don't want to talk too much about the plot because it's a very new film. There doesn't really need to be anything to talk about, any spoilers or anything, because if you've watched Blade Runner, you have an idea of what's sort of going to happen and how the story's going to go. So it's just more a case of viewing and going along from the ride with the future, or not but future soldiers' narrative, so to speak. But yeah, this is just my initial thoughts and first impressions, if you like. I think it's really something, I don't know anything. I don't know anything as usual, but I don't know, I found myself quite attached to it just because I'm from the area as well, and it feels really cool to have someone, bring out their own feature film, and it feels like something that, as a film student of the same place, that I should support, and, I am wanting to support him with his future endeavours as well. So just to further add, there were some bits that I didn't mention just in the haste of making the video. I just kind of forgot about special effects altogether. So the special effects obviously were low budget, but it's a low budget thing. I have never dabbled in special effects before when making any short or anything to do with filmmaking, so I can't possibly comment on that. they didn't look bad, so that's the positive that we're looking for here. Some of the special effects for there was a sort of heated power dagger type of thing that looked really cool. The sound effects with that sounded really good as well. There was a sort of a microphone transmitter audio thing that distorted the hoplites hearing or sensory issue. I don't know, it did something to him and it was a sensory thing, and that seemed really cool. I liked how that was done. And then we had lots of the sort of like, there was like a phone on the arm type of thing with the technology. There was sort of like CGI sort of, almost like Iron Man, like, swinging about his like computer screens that looked really cool as well. We saw scenes that looked very, very reminiscent of Blade Runner, where it was just, over the dark cityscape, minus the comedy element, but it reminded me a lot of Dick Spanner, just how the city looked and things, but also, take Dick Spanner, Blade Runner, Time Cop, Aeon, Flux, mesh them all into something, and you could have something that's like this. That's the vibe I definitely got. But no, it was, I was very surprised with it, and that was just the 2 cents to add in about the special effects and things. Big props to you, Ed. Very well done, and hopefully people that potentially watch this video will enjoy it. But yeah, don't forget to leave a like and comment, and please go check out the video or the film in the description with the Amazon link. Take care now. Bye bye.